Hey, this is Joseph from worshipguitarbasics.com. In today's lesson, we'll be going over how to tune your guitar. So to start with, we'll first be going over what type of tuners there are and what type you should get for your needs. Then from there, I'll show you how to use it and tune your guitar. So to start out, there are a couple different types of tuners. To kind of oversimplify it, there are pedal tuners, and then there are non-pedal tuners. And so pedal tuners, you'll see up here to my left, you basically step on them, and then it will let you tune your guitar. So when you do that, it mutes your guitar. To use a pedal tuner, your guitar has to be an acoustic electric, meaning you're able to plug it in and you have electronics, or you need to be using an electric guitar. The other type of tuners out there, just calling them non-pedal tuners, there are types which use microphones. So this, when you use your guitar, it picks up the microphone and lets you tune based on that. Then there are also clip-on tuners. I personally don't have a clip-on tuner, but what you do is you clip it onto your headstock of the guitar, and then as you're hitting the strings, it basically picks up the vibration of your guitar, and then you look at it here and tune based on that. So in terms of deciding what type of tuner to get, for the pedal tuners, I would only recommend them if you're going to be playing live in a band somewhere. So whether you're playing at church on a Sunday or you're gigging in a band, because otherwise, if you're not going to be playing live, you lose a lot of the benefit of the pedal tuner. And so the benefit of that is that when you step on it, it actually mutes your signal. So if you're plugged in, if you're playing acoustic, you're plugged into a PA or an amp, as you're tuning between a song, you don't want everyone to be hearing you go. So get a pedal tuner if you're going to be playing in a band live, or if you think in the future you may be. Do not get a pedal tuner, as I mentioned earlier, if your guitar is not acoustic electric, because you won't be able to use it. So with that said, if you're just going to be playing at home on your couch in your living room, and that's all you think you'll be doing, you don't necessarily need a pedal tuner, since the main benefit is to mute your guitar. If you're playing at home, you'll be fine getting a tuner like this, which just picks up the microphone. You can just sit on your lap and tune there, or getting, as I mentioned before, a clip-on tuner. Pedal tuners will generally be a little more expensive, but again, if you're ever going to be playing live, you have to have a pedal tuner. So now that we've gone over a few of the different types, as well as what to get based on your needs if you're playing at home or if you're playing in a band, in terms of tuners, there's also what's called a chromatic tuner and a non-chromatic tuner. Those are the two types. And so a chromatic tuner basically lets you tune to any note. So it lets you tune E, A, D, G, B, E, as well as C's and F's and other things like that. And so that has two main benefits. Number one, if you're going to be playing in any alternate tunings later on, you need a chromatic tuner to be able to tune to notes other than E, A, D, G, B, E. The other benefit of a chromatic tuner is, especially as you're starting out and you're trying to learn all the notes on the fretboard, let's say this note, you're not sure what it is, you can turn on your chromatic tuner, look at it, and you can see, oh, that's a G, that's a G sharp, that's an A. So if you have a non-chromatic tuner, it will only pick up E, A, D, G, B, E. And so for that reason, I recommend generally a chromatic tuner. They might be a little more expensive in some cases, but for the flexibility in the future, I think it's worth it. Okay, so now that we've gone over the type of tuners there are, we'll next go over how to tune. And so here you can see on the ground I have two tuners here. I have a Boss TU3, which is a chromatic tuner, and then I also have a TC Electronics Polytune 2 mini tuner. They're both great tuners. At the end of the video, I'll post some links in the description below in terms of ones that I've either personally used and I recommend, or that I've had friends who have had great experiences with. Okay, So starting out, now we'll be talking about how to tune. So from the prior lesson you learned the strings of the guitar. If not, go back to that lesson and learn them. But basically E, A, D, G, B, and E are the strings. So for those strings, those notes, tuning is basically making sure the pitch of the string equals that note. So for the E string, we don't want to have that tuned to an F note or a G note. We want it tuned to an E. Same with the A, D, G, B, and E. So how you do this, up here on your guitar you have what's called tuning pegs. So you have 6 of them, one for each string. So this is for the low E string, this is for the A, this is for the D, this one is for the G string, this one's for the B string, and this one's for the E string, the high E string. So how you tune it, you first want to make sure your tuner's on. So if you have one like this, you want to flip the switch on. If you have it on your headstock, you want to make sure it's on. In this case, I'll be tuning with these tuner pedals. So now that this is on, what you want to do is you want to first hit the note you're trying to tune, or rather the string. So hitting the E string, you can see right here, as I hit the string, you can see that it's over here. It's showing that it's an E, but it's showing left of the center. So left of the center means you're actually flat. So this string is tuned a little bit flat. If it was right of the center, it would be sharp. So as I hit it, we see that this E is a little flat. And so the way to do it, for these 3 tuners up here, for the E, A, and D string, to make it more sharp or tighten it, you want to turn it counterclockwise, meaning towards this way. So for this, as I hit the string, I'm going to turn it counterclockwise, and you'll see the pitch on the tuner get closer to the center. And you keep doing that, and you see right there, it turned green, and it's in the center. And in particular, this Boss tuner, when you hit the tune just right, you'll see the lines go like this, and it shows you that you're in tune. So that's E. For the next string, A, you're gonna want to do the same thing. So on this also, we're a little flat. As you can see, it's to the left of the tuner. So again, we're gonna make it more sharp, which is tightening it, which is counterclockwise up that way. So on this one, you can see I'm doing this, I went a little bit sharp on it. And again, you can tell it's sharp because it's up here to the right instead of center. So one tuning tip I want to point out, whenever your string is sharp, don't just loosen the tuning peg to get back to the note. Because what that does, it releases the tension in the tuning peg, and then you're more apt to go out of tune later. So when you are sharp, what I'd recommend is tune down a little bit, tune a little past the note, so go a little flat, and then tune back up to the note. That allows you to keep the tension in the tuning peg, and you'll stay in tune a lot longer. That's a really useful tip. A lot of people don't necessarily do, but it really helps you stay in tune, especially if you're using capos and other things like that. So to continue on this one, again, as I mentioned, we're sharp, we're to the right of the tuner. So to go flat, you're going to loosen the tuning peg for this string, for the A string. And to loosen it, you're turning it this way, which is clockwise. So we'll go ahead and do that. You can see it going down, and again, I'm not gonna just tune down to the note. I'm gonna go a little bit under it, so a little flat, and then I'm gonna tune back up. So we're a little bit flat now, and let's try again tightening it. And you can do this slowly. Okay, and there you see I'm in tune for the A string. So the same thing for the D string. So here we're also a little flat. So I'm going to tune up. And as you do this, you want to keep hitting the string as you're tuning, because the tuners pick up based on, in this case I'm plugged in to the tuner, so it picks up based on my signal. If you're using a microphone tuner, it would pick up based on the sound. So you don't just want to hit it once. You want to keep hitting it to make sure that your tuner actually picks up that pitch. So here, tuning the D string, you can see now I'm in tune. And so now for the G, B, and E string, the tuners are down here. It's a little confusing in that what we just did on these tuners, the G, B, and E are actually opposite. So to tighten the tuners, you're actually going to turn them clockwise, so that way, which will make the string more sharp. If you want to make the string more flat, which is under the pitch, you'll turn it that way, which is counterclockwise. So let's go ahead and hit the G. And right here you can see I am flat for the string. So to make it more sharp, as I just mentioned, we'll turn it clockwise. Okay, and now you can see we're in tune for that. Next on to the B string. And one other thing to point out, if you're turning the tuning peg and you're looking at your tuner and the pitch isn't getting more sharp or flat, chances are you're turning the wrong peg. So make sure you're using E, A, D, G, B, E. Another thing you can do if you're still kind of learning the strings is you can look at the string and look at it all the way down and trace it to which tuning peg. Okay, so for the B string, we're flat, so I'm going to tune up. To tighten this tuning peg, make the note more sharp. Okay, now we're in tune for that. Next for the E string, the high E. Okay, now we're in tune for that. And just to show you the polytune as well, I'm going to click that on. And it's fairly similar to the TU3. As you hit the note, you can see where you are. And it's the same concept. In this case, when it turns green, you're in tune. One benefit of the Polytune 2, I forget what the name is for this, but basically it also lets you tune all the strings at once. So if I strum all of them open, you can see right here, it shows you all the strings. So right there you can see my low E is out of tune a little bit. I wouldn't recommend tuning like that, but what the benefit of that is that let's say you just finished a song and you need to quickly check if you're in tune. You can turn the tuner on, strum there, and if you're all green, you're in tune. If not, then what you can do is go to the string that's out of tune and tune that. So with that said, that's basically how you tune your guitar. If you have any questions, feel free to put them below. And as I said before, I'll post some links to tuners that would be helpful for you all. So thanks for stopping by.